What if one day you became infested with parasites? What if the very thing meant to destroy you is the thing that sets you free? Have you ever, in your wildest daydreams, imagined that the thing that worms its way inside you, takes control, and consumes you from the inside out might be the very thing that sets you free? We're taught to fear what's inside us, the foreign, the invasive, the things that grow in the dark, whispering voices that aren't our own. Parasites. In stories, they're almost always the same. Grotesque, devouring forces that consume everything in their path. Unforgiving, alien, lethal. But what if that's not the whole story? What if sometimes the monster doesn't kill you? What if it awakens something? Something hidden, something buried, something extraordinary in a world crawling with parasitic horrors designed to consume, control, and destroy. There are rare, haunting moments when the infection doesn't take over. It evolves. It forges something new, something stronger, something almost heroic. These aren't just survival stories. These are transformations, a metamorphosis that gives new life and purpose. So stay with us, because today we're peeling back the skin of 3 unforgettable stories where the infection didn't end a life, it redefined it. These are the top 3 movies whose themes revolve around parasite-human bonds that gave birth to unexpected heroes. And by the end of this countdown, you might just start to wonder, could a parasite ever be tamed? Could it turn a broken human into something extraordinary? Let's begin. Coming in at number 3, Jiangxiang Creature. In 1945, beneath the fading empire of Imperial Japan, something more terrifying than war was taking place. Deep within a covert facility in Jiangxiang, Korean prisoners were used as living test subjects, fed to parasitic organism called the Najin, which worms its way through the bloodstream to take over the brain, mutating its host into something unrecognizable and unstoppable. One of those victims was Seishin, the mother of Chaeok. Twisted by the Najin, Seishin becomes a monster, fanged, tentacled, regenerative, a mindless weapon of war. And yet, she remembers when her daughter appears before her, something impossible happens, something deeply human. The parasite had her body, but not her love. Instead of killing, she protects. Instead of destroying, she shields her daughter with monstrous limbs, fighting off soldiers who once controlled her. In a genre known for horror and helplessness, this moment flips the script. The creature chooses compassion. The parasite enhanced her, but it was motherhood that made her heroic, because even when your face is no longer yours, even when your voice has been swallowed by something alien, the instinct to love, to protect, to sacrifice, that survives. And that's what breaks us. That's what stays with you. So why is this story so chillingly effective? Because it's not just fiction. Jiangxiang Creature draws inspiration from a dark and haunting corner of real history, from the atrocities committed by Unit 731, a real-life division of the Imperial Japanese Army that carried out unspeakable acts during World War II, human experimentation, bioweapon development, torture masquerading as science. In recent years, thousands of names tied to this nightmare were declassified, shining a light on crimes once buried beneath science. So, when you watch this series, you're not just witnessing fantasy, you're stepping into a terrifying shadow of our past, where horror wasn't imagined, it was engineered. And yet, out of that darkness, Jiangxiang Creature dares to tell a story of resistance, of memory, of a mother's love so powerful it breaks through biological terror, because Seishin's transformation isn't just a mutation, it's a reclamation, a reminder that even in the face of absolute dehumanization, the soul can fight back. And maybe that's what makes this story more than just horror. It's a cry from the past, a reminder of what was done, and a flicker of hope that even the worst parts of us can't kill the best in us. Now, take a deep breath, because the next story will show you what happens when the parasite doesn't just coexist, it becomes a partner. Coming in at number 2, Parasite The Gray. If Seishin's transformation in Jiangxiang Creature was born from the fire of love and loss, then Su-in's awakening in Parasite The Gray is born in silence, in the quiet agony of someone who no longer believes she belongs in the world. Jiang Su-in doesn't want to be saved. She, in fact, wants to disappear. Her life has been a slow erosion, haunted by trauma, isolation, and the kind of pain that numbs the soul. And in a moment of despair, she tries to take that final step toward oblivion, but the universe has other plans. At that very moment, an alien parasite infiltrates her body, a member of an invasive species designed to wipe out humanity by hijacking their minds, consuming their identities, and puppeteering their bodies. Normally, The parasite wins. The host is erased, but Su-In's wounds delay its reach to her brain. And for the first time in recorded infection history, a standoff occurs. Two minds, one body, neither in full control. The parasite is trapped. Su-In is still alive, and something strange begins to happen. They adapt. They coexist. In a world where infection means extermination, Su-In's existence is not just an anomaly, it's a threat, because there is one group that refuses to believe in exceptions. They're called the Gray, a covert South Korean task force built to eliminate parasitic invaders before they can spread. The Gray operates outside the limits of ordinary law enforcement. They strike with precision, carrying cutting-edge weapons and deploying lethal force without hesitation. To them, hosts are irredeemable, already lost. There is no cure. There is no saving. There is only containment through death. So, when Su-In's condition is discovered, she isn't seen as a miracle. She's seen as a liability, an unpredictable glitch in a system that demands control. Equipped with advanced tech and tactical weapons, they operate outside standard law enforcement, deploying lethal force, no questions asked. To them, infected hosts are irredeemable. There is no cure, no exception. So when Su-In is discovered, she isn't hailed as a miracle. She's targeted, labeled as mutant, marked for death. But what follows isn't annihilation, it's revolution. Against all odds, Su-In forms a temporary alliance with Team Gray to stop something far worse than parasites, a cult led by a pastor who plans to infiltrate the government using parasitic infection as a weapon. In the finale, Su-In fights side by side with Team Gray's fierce leader to take down an infected detective, proving her loyalty to humanity. But even after helping them, the lines remain blurred. Su-In is still viewed with suspicion. To Team Gray, she's an aberration, neither human nor parasite, a symbol of the moral ambiguity their mission cannot reconcile. Her very existence challenges everything the Gray stands for. Their shoot-first policy begins to crack under the weight of Su-In's compassion and resolve. This is what makes Parasite The Gray more than a horror story. It's a tragedy. It's a rebellion. It's a search for humanity in a world that has stopped believing in it. Because Su-In doesn't become a hero by defeating the parasite. She becomes a hero by choosing to live with it, by resisting the binary that says you must be one or the other, monster or human, infected or dead. Her parasite gave her strength, but it was Su-In's pain, her will, her voice that turned that strength into compassion. And in doing so, she becomes a beacon, a crack in the system, a reason to ask the question, what if the monster inside you isn't your end, but your beginning? At number 1 on the list, Kingdom. And now, brace yourself, because coming in at number 1 is a tale of sacrifice, loyalty, and a kingdom saved by a choice to become infected. At number 1, Kingdom. At the heart of Kingdom lies more than just a political thriller or a zombie outbreak. It's a brutal meditation on sacrifice, loyalty, and truth, set against the crumbling throne of Joseon-era Korea. The dead don't just rise in this world. They spread. Infected by a mysterious resurrection plant, corpses return as savage creatures, feasting, multiplying, hunting. The plague knows no status. Commoners, nobles, even kings. But among the bloodshed stands one man, Lord Han Yang, a decorated military leader, and one of the few who truly believes in Crown Prince Chang. When the court turns against the prince, branding him a traitor and enemy of the state, Lord Han Yang does the unthinkable. He chooses to be infected, not by accident, but willingly. Why? Because in a kingdom rotten with deceit, the only way to expose the truth is with a monstrous act of sacrifice. He allows the parasite in, lets the infection take him, just long enough to confront the corrupt Lord Cho, who would use the parasite for his own twisted gain. But before the infection can fully consume him, his final act, a bite, a wound, a revelation, it's all that's needed, because in that moment, he turns his own body into living proof, forcing the soldiers to see the truth of the prince's warning, to believe, and to stand with him. He dies a hero, a martyr, but not before shifting the course of a kingdom. What makes this story remarkable isn't just the horror of the outbreak, it's how Kingdom uses infection as a metaphor, how a parasite becomes a symbol of justice, of conviction, of revolution. Lord Anyang's decision isn't just a tactical move, it's a soul-shaking reminder. Sometimes, you have to become the thing you fear to defeat it. The parasite didn't make Anyang a monster. It magnified his nobility. It gave him the power to speak truth in a world ruled by silence. And in the end, it lit the way for a new reign, one forged not by bloodlines, but by courage. We started this countdown with a question. What if the very thing meant to destroy you is what sets you free? Now, you've seen 3 unforgettable answers. Seishin, the mother who shielded her daughter with monstrous arms. Su-In, the woman who merged with her parasite to become a warrior of her own making. And Lord Anyang, who turned his own body into a weapon of truth. So now we ask you, could a parasite ever be more than just a monster? Could infection sometimes reveal what's most human? Could the thing meant to break us be what awakens us? Let us know in the comments, which of these transformations moved you the most? Which story will you never forget? And if you want more powerful, thought-provoking breakdowns like this, don't forget to hit like, subscribe, and ring that bell for future deep dives. Until next time.